Welcome back to Ace here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit the subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And our beloved New Jersey Devils, fresh off a gutsy road victory in Ottawa last night against the Senators, headed back to the Rock, Newark, New Jersey, for a 3-game homestand in desperate need of as many points as they could get. And we're here to talk about that and whatever else you find folks like to talk about tonight. But we look at the schedule, and the Rock has been brutal as of late. This is going back to November. But the most recent 3 losses at home you see here, a 5-3 loss to Columbus in Dilly's 1,000th game, one of the worst games I've been to in quite some time, if I'm being honest. The fact that they blew a 2-0 lead, Dilly got dropped during his 1,000th game. We were not heavy, edgy, or violent enough in that one. Columbus took it to us, and it felt like sort of like a demoralizing kind of loss in some ways. But back at the Rock a couple days later, and they get shut out by the Stars. Unfortunately, I was at both of those games, Columbus and Dallas, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm a little bit of a bad luck charm. Maybe I need to stay away. Maybe I just don't want to put myself through this emotional pain anymore. And I did not go to the Vegas Golden Knights game, a game in which the Devils also were shut out by a score of 3-0. And that capped off a 4-game losing streak on home ice. Not a single point was captured out of a potential 8. And hopefully that does not come back to bite this New Jersey Devils club, because failing to get a point in 4 games is just unforgivable. Injuries aside, but horrible homestand. Obviously lost to Boston in that painful one, making the streak 5. And last night in Ottawa, hopes restored to some extent. Just that they responded and were able to get some points. In no way do I believe that everything's fine now. I've talked about this before, but great to get the 2 points. And now they're returning home for this 3-game homestand. It's a pretty big one. Tampa Bay Lightning in the building tomorrow, and then 2 afternoon games back to back. We have Saturday against the Ducks and Sunday against Quinn Hughes and the Vancouver Canucks. And my friends, the Quinn rumors. We'll get to that later. It's everyone's favorite topic at the moment. The Quinn rumors are at an all-time high. And I do believe Vancouver will have to deal him fairly soon, because it is going to be a massive distraction. But we start off with the Tampa Bay Lightning, the team that the New Jersey Devils beat in the 2nd game of the season for their first win of the season. If we just go back in time a little bit, after many of you and many other people across Devils fandom and whatever else wrote the Devils off for dead after the opening night in Carolina, it was not a pretty game by any way you look at it. It was not a pretty game, but it was the first game of the season, and there's already people dooming. And they go to Tampa for game 2, and the Devils come out with a 5-3 win, highlighted by 2 Connor Brown goals. Also, a shorty from Bratter, a goal from the captain, Nico Hischier, and Timo Meier. That was a very nice display of balanced scoring. You like to see goals from all over the place. That was a pretty good distribution there. And the Devils thoroughly outplayed them, in my opinion. 31 shots to 17. Devils got the edge in the face-off department. Special teams weren't really doing anything for anyone. No power play goals were scored. Devils with 27 hits and 24 block shots. You guys know I like to see those numbers combined. Add up the block shots plus hits. If you're 40 plus, I think you got a good chance of winning the game. And in that one, they were 51. Well over my 40 threshold. That was game 1. But Tampa remembered. Oh, did they remember? And they returned the favor in the second matchup. A little over a month later, about 5 weeks later. Not pretty. Devils lose 5-1. Gensel gets the hat trick. I remember just being furious watching that one. That one sucked. And so now the series comes back to New Jersey for the 3rd and final game, all tied up at 1. What is going to become of this Devils team back on home ice? Now, I just had to double check. Vasilevsky is now on IR. And so obviously a huge advantage to not have to go against Vasilevsky, one of the best goaltenders in the league. Anytime you don't have to face him, you'll take it. And so this is a big opportunity for the New Jersey Devils, I think Hedman might be out as well. Teams dealing with injuries across the league. It's an epidemic at this point. There's guys going down from all sorts of things. There's guys aside from Jack Hughes getting injured in off-ice incidents. I mean, man games are being lost across the league. And so this is a huge opportunity for the Devils to get back on the right foot on home ice. And I think they're going to pull it off. I really do. But we look real quick at the standings. Tampa Bay, slow start for them on the season, holding down the number one spot in the Atlantic with 36 points, playing 600 points percentage hockey. And then you see our beloved New Jersey Devils now just outside of a wild card spot. Again, I just like to look at these daily just to see what other teams are doing, but everything is so packed up tight, as we've talked about for quite a long time now. The difference between, first place and last place is fairly small. And I do think, I don't know, the Sens looked pretty bad last night and really wanted to give us that game. I was going to say, I still think everyone in the East is alive except for Buffalo. But they're only 2 points back, but I just don't believe in them as a group. But these games are huge, especially conference and divisional games. Tampa is going to have to weather the storm without Vasilevsky, try to hold on to their spot. But this is insane. You look at the Metro, Caps at 39, Canes at 38, Islanders at 37. And then you have Pittsburgh and Philly with 35, Devils also at 35, but more games played. Wild. This season really might be the craziest finish to a season, in my opinion, in terms of playoff race. I think this could really come down to there could be multiple teams that make it or get pushed out of a spot in the last day of the season. We go back to the schedule. So that should be an interesting one. The rubber match, the third game of the season series. And then Saturday, the Ducks. And what do you know? The Ducks, the team that everyone's been talking about, I feel like for a few years now as a team on the rise. Well, the Ducks have somewhat risen. Again, similar scenario out west. Not as crazy as the East. But the Ducks currently in first place in the Pacific through 30 games with 39 points, sporting a 19-10-1 record with 650 points percentage hockey. And wow, I don't know that I thought they were going to rise this quickly, but I mean, they've been at this for a while. But Dostal, to his credit, their goaltender is very good, and that's going to be another challenge. I believe he had a very good game against us last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I think we've lost to them way more times than we should have in the past couple of years. I know for a fact I was at a game last year against the Ducks that we lost. I think McDermott fought their monster Johnston. But, Ducks looking to keep their momentum going, holding on to a first place spot in the division. And I think they're going to make the playoffs. Obviously, it's only 30 games, but I just feel like this is going to be the season that they kind of turn the corner and at least make the playoffs and see how far they could get. But you guys know I believe in building a team from the net out. Dostal is pretty damn good. He's had some really good games against the Devils and obviously tons of other teams. Not going to be easy. And then Sunday, as we all know, hosting Quinn Hughes and the Canucks in the basement of the Western Conference with 25 points. 417 points percentage hockey, which is just absolutely abysmal. And they're actually dead last in the league. Dead last in the league. Looking to free up probably cap space and roster spots, and who knows what direction they're going in. We've heard all sorts of rumors over the past couple of days, but it seems like the Quinn Hughes stuff, guys, is at a fever pitch. But Devils Canucks, I mean, you got to win that one. That's a must win. Must win. And Tampa and the Ducks are no slouch. And so going into this 3-game homestand, expectations-wise, the New Jersey Devils must. Absolutely must. No question about it. Must win 2 of these 3 games. And quite frankly, I don't even care what they are, which ones they are, but they need to win 2 of the 3 and get the 6 points. That's bare minimum. Obviously, it'd be great to win all 3, but if I couldn't sit here with a straight face and tell you I expect them to win 3 games in a row after we just saw a 5-game losing streak, which included 4 of them at home and back-to-back shutouts, and then scoring a single goal in the 5th game of the losing streak. Like, it would be psychotic for me to actually believe that. I thought I just whacked the microphone. Got to win 2 out of the 3. And so for me, 4 out of the 6 points is the bare minimum. And obviously anything more than that is great. So if they get an overtime loss in one of them and end up with 5 points, very, very good. And if somehow they win all 3 and get the 6, that would be phenomenal. I'm certainly not counting on that, but I think 2 out of 3 must happen. The Canucks game is a must win. And then you got to win 1 out of 2 against teams that are leading their division at the moment, granted by very small margin, but Lightning and Ducks both holding down the number 1 spot in their respective divisions. You got to win one of those 2. And so 2 out of 3, I don't think is unrealistic. I hope they could pull it off, but 4 out of 6 points is the bare minimum for what this team must do to start getting back on the right track. You know, that win last night was a gutsy road win, not the prettiest of games. Special teams was absolutely awful. I'd imagine that's something that is going to be the emphasis of the coaching staff kind of moving forward. You cannot have games where your power play goes 0 for 3 and then your penalty kill goes 0 for 3 also and give up 3 power play goals. Completely unacceptable. It's a great way to lose a lot of games, and especially for a team that is struggling to just get any points they can with these injuries, it's not a good look. So they got to figure that out. Hopefully special teams comes back to life at the Rock during this 3-game homestand, but I'm curious to see what your guys' predictions are. I'm going to predict that they win 2 of the 3. I don't like to, I hate predicting them to lose any games like on a one-off basis. I think the Canucks, they definitely win. And then, they got to beat either the Lightning or the Ducks. I'll probably go. I'm just going to say they win 2 out of 3. I'm going to leave it at that. They win 2 out of 3 and get the 4 points. I'd love to get 5 or 6. But the rumors are not calming down. And I am hoping that the saga ends soon and we see Quinn Hughes shipped to our beloved New Jersey Devils. I don't want to talk about this too much here. People have been, kind of obsessing over it and the articles and the videos, and it's nonstop stuff. But it seems like it's a massive distraction in Vancouver now, as you would imagine it would be. And the easiest thing is to just rip the Band-Aid off quick. Don't let it linger too long. This is the soap opera of the season. And so now we go to the comments. Bobby, thank you for the super sir. Can we include, you see, this is just where I just don't understand. I've been saying the same things for months and people still write this. Can we include Luke in the trade for Quinn? By considering Nemo, Fitz isn't doing what's best for the team. He's stroking his and Luke's ego. Bobby, this is for the 9 millionth time. And for everyone else who doesn't comprehend this, the main driving factor, in the Devils trying to get Luke Hughes is to have all 3 of the Hughes brothers. They're not going to trade Luke in a package to get him. They're not going to trade Jack in a package. They want all 3. They have 2 of the 3. They're trying to bring the 3rd home. Talking about trading one of the existing Hughes brothers is a waste of my time, and it's a waste of everyone else's time. It is not going to happen. I understand you like Nemo, and you don't want to part with him, but for all the people that are still kind of dying on this hill, like, you need to go watch some Quinn Hughes clips, because unfortunately, I think there's a very good chance this happens, and I'm going to be upset too. I love Nemo, but you cannot fail to bring Quinn Hughes to the Devils because you don't want to trade Shimo Nemitz. It's just crazy, but thank you. Yes, I did get the OVO hoodie. Alex says, Ace is cooking so hard he's going to burn the house down. I don't want to burn the house down. Oh, Alex, this is defeatist mentality. If we can get 1-1-1 through these 3, I'm okay. Oh my God. You're going for 500 hockey here? 500 points percentage hockey. Roberts says have to win all 3, especially Vancouver. I think that's lofty. I'll take 2 out of 3. All 3 would be phenomenal, but come on, man. We just watched a 5-game losing streak. Traveling, what's going on? I see the Devils winning at least 1 game out of the next 3. Oh my God. Yeah, I talked about this before. I am a Drake fan for a very long time, since the beginning. John says, I'm not looking for the Devils to win. I'm looking for them to Quinn. Everything. I just feel like it's at this point like a mandate from ownership. I don't see how Fitz fails to get this done. The assets are in place. Unless he just categorically refuses to pay their price, but I don't think it'll come to a point where it's so ridiculous. I am fully prepared, and I'm warning everyone. And again, this is mostly based on seeing comments, people's tweets, and all of these things on like their either mock trades or proposed trades or whatever it is, their ideas in their brains about potential trades to get Quinn Hughes here, and like a huge portion of them are just so outlandishly not realistic on so many levels. Some of it being, needs for Vancouver, or just like basically people are just listing a bunch of spare parts and we're like, yeah, we'll trade all this stuff for Quinn. And it's like, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen whatsoever. And I do think a lot of people are going to be, if this does happen, extremely upset with what the package looks like, because I think it's going to be a package that most people are not going to be able to wrap their heads around at first glance. It could be roster. I expect at least one roster player, maybe multiple first round picks, maybe a prospect or two, but guys like Quinn Hughes do not get traded often, and it's not going to be cheap. The price is going to have to be paid. And if the Devils don't do it, someone else will. And so that opens up a whole nother can of worms in terms of trying to get him here after that. And like, it just seems like the easiest thing for all parties involved would be just to get Quinn here now. And again, while I do not believe he has problems for this team, he certainly will make them a better team. And I think that's all we could hope for right now. What's going on, Brian? Logan, Ace, I've been a long-time viewer of the channel, but don't chat much at all. Can't blame you. Some nights it's rough in here. I just wanted to say keep up the great work and keep it coming. The streams are the highs when the teams are at their low. I appreciate that, Logan. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of low times as of late, but hopefully we are back to good times very soon. Getting healthy, getting some outside help. I would love to be here talking about 6 and 7 and 8 game heaters again. It wasn't that long ago, but in some ways it feels like an eternity ago. Chicago cut. Damn you. Crazy Alex, I just saw some modeling thing by Jack Hughes. They are hiding his hand. I find that funny. Well, I mean, that's been going on for a few weeks now. There was something of him, I think, in the hospital as well, like visiting kids and stuff, and he was like hiding his hand. I mean, there was a picture. I don't remember where I saw it, and I couldn't find it. I tried to go back and find it. It was a picture from USA Hockey. It was some kind of photo shoot thing that he had in the past couple weeks. And he didn't hide it at all. His hand was on a chair, and you blatantly saw it was something on his pinky finger. SST wasting all of our time and brain cells once again. Quinn is not coming to the Devils. Simply impossible cap-wise, and other teams have better bids in terms of player to offer. SST, the resident know-it-all. Obviously, they could make the cap space. I'm not going to go into this. There's a million things, a million ways they could make it happen, and hopefully, if it does happen, the SST disappears, because he will be wrong for the 9 millionth time. All the recent photos of Jack, he's hiding his hand. Richard Ace, is that one of the new Christmas goodies you picked up today you're wearing? Actually, it is. This is my lightweight. It doesn't look like anything fancy. I mean, it doesn't come through, but this is the half zip. This is my very first Lululemon piece, guys. I've joined the Lululemon club, and now I told you, and I talked about this before. I'm not a Lululemon guy whatsoever. But I was in the Devils team store and was looking at some of this. This is pretty nice quality. And then I saw some people wearing it. And then it went on sale for the Fanatics huge sale. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to join the Lulu Club. Never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. And I went on a shopping spree. I've been talking about it a lot, trying to show you guys some good deals. I put the Fanatics link in the chat as well. You can check it out, but there's tons of great stuff. And I got this hat too. I always love this hat. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. The focus has been annoying. Yeah, you see it? Property of New Jersey. This is kind of like what they used to have, very similar, on the crest of their practice jerseys back in the day. And so I thought that was super cool. They call this like the training camp cap or something. But hit the Fanatics link. It's pinned at the top of the chat, and I just dropped it in the chat as well. I don't know how long the sale is going to go on for, but there's tons of good stuff. A lot of the stuff selling out, so check it out. Hats, jerseys, autograph stuff, great deals. But this is a new hat and a new Lululemon. I think they call this the half zip. The half zip. John, need some positivity from the Devils after what's been going on with the Mets. Oh, you're talking about baseball? No, I know a lot of people like baseball. Unfortunately, I am not one of them, and I think it's an absolute snoozer. But I know it's America's pastime. I know I have a lot of friends that are baseball fans, but most of them don't watch full games. And I've grilled them all about it, because when I tell them I hate baseball, they, oh, you know, and I was like, when was the last time you watched a full game? I'm like, and don't lie. And then I look at them, I stare them in the eyes, and they're like, oh, I have it on in the background when I'm doing whatever. And I'm like, okay, so you're not watching it. Like, I don't have hockey games on in the background. Like, I'm glued in. I'm in the zone. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, and, oh, I forgot to mention this last night, or maybe I did. I don't remember. But I did change the location in my home of where I watched the game, and they won. And so even though it's not my favorite setup, I will be, well, I think I'm probably going to go to the game tomorrow. The next game that I don't go to, that I'm watching on TV, I will have to watch in my bedroom again, because that is where I watched last night's game, and I am a superstitious creature, and so I will be right back there to watch the next one. What are you going to do? Should you eat it? Hey, Ace, let's go Devils. Should you eat it? You should always eat it. I don't know what it is, but eat it. Natasha, good to see Connor Brown coming back to life in the last game. Another 3-point night for Brownie. 3 points for both Brownie and Grits. You love to see it. I think that could be a magical third line for some time. Now, when Jack comes back, I'm very curious to see how they're going to shake things up. But in the meantime, that third line looked very, very good. Glass, Grits, and Brown were doing their thing last night, and I'd expect to see them, as a unit again tomorrow, and hopefully they do the same thing. Would love to see them go wild on the Lightning. We need all the production we could get right now. Paging Jesper Bratt, would love to see him start burying some pucks into the back of the net. A lot of people have been down on him as of late. I'm not super down on him, but I just want to see more goals. I mean, he is getting the assists, but we need some goals right now. Goal scoring's at a premium. Bacchanal Brunch, happy Wednesday, Ace. Happy Wednesday to you. Natasha, this has to be the most injuries in a season on a league standpoint. It could be. I'm curious if there is a thing out there for man games lost, like for the whole league. It's definitely probably up there. And we're only a little more than a third of the way through the season. What's going on, John? Charlie says, looks like Detroit is closing in. You're talking about for Quinn? I mean, there's going to be a lot of people making offers, but I do think they're going to try to accommodate him and get him to Jersey. I really do. As long as Fitz comes up with that package. And like I said, it's going to be, if they announce that deal, the amount of people that start bickering about it's going to be super interesting. I'm almost dreading that, but you can't please everybody. And so there's going to be, or on the flip side, if he does get dealt somewhere else, there's going to be all the people that come out of the woodwork talking about, blah, we should have got him, da-da-da. I still think he ends up here. This is one that Fitz is not going to botch. J-Dog, there needs to be a Quinn to Jersey chant on Sunday. What is going on here? Bungie said this could be the final Hughes Bowl. I think there's only been that one game in Vancouver a couple years ago, right, that they all played in because someone's been injured in all of them. And Jack's obviously not playing in this one, and so it's not even a Hughes Bowl, really. It's now Luke versus Quinn, and I'm just hoping that it would be something crazy if we got him before then. I don't think they would, but wouldn't it be crazy if like they announced it like right after the game or something, and Quinn just never left? He just brought all of his shit with him on the road trip and just never left after Sunday. That would be pretty funny. But yeah, I'm curious. It's just mounting now daily. Every single day, the media is asking the coach and the players, and it's become a full circus. And so if Vancouver has any sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, but, in the best interest of your club, obviously you want to get the best return you can, but like, there's no point in letting this linger. This is one of those things that you just got to try to get to the finish line as fast as possible. And I don't understand what the holdup is. Crazy Alex says, to be fair, Nemo is developing and should stay. Oh, my Lord says, what are you guys willing to give up for Hughes? Tasha, I'm with you. If Fitz finds a way to not trade Nemo, he'll gain major stock with me. I do think that is going to be very, very difficult. I mean, if somehow he could pull it off, that would be great. I just can't see it. I think that's going to be a piece that they stand firm on that must be coming back in the package, but I would love to be wrong about that and for Fitz to somehow pull it off. J-Dog, Nemo isn't going to be as good as Quinn. Even if we could leverage him to get Quinn now to possibly get him cheaper on an extension would be worth it. Yeah, I agree with that. Pretty big, I love Nemo, but let's be real. Quinn Hughes is on another planet. Natasha says, wow, Drake fan since the beginning. Come to think of it, I saw your Drake video. Honestly, unexpected. You struck me as a country guy. So actually, country would probably be one of my least favorite genres of music, but I do like everything there's certain songs of every single type that I do like. Definitely not big into country though, but yeah, longtime Drake fan because I was a Lil Wayne fan, and Wayne brought him up, and so that's kind of how I got familiar with him. And yeah, I went to a concert of his that was at a little club, and the tickets were $20 in 2000. I forget if it was 2009 or 10. It was before he even had a record deal. Crazy stuff. But yeah, I've been a Drake guy from day one. Crazy to see the meteoric rise. Fentanyl Floyd, chances Quinn stays in New Jersey after Sunday's game. That's what I'm hoping. Pack all your stuff and never leave. Maybe we get him before the game. Maybe they negotiate it in person at the game, and then after the game's over, they're like, we have an announcement. Imagine how crazy that shit would be if, like, somehow in the third period, like as it was ending, Adam Hamway came on the thing, and he's like, and please stay in the arena for a special ceremony or whatever, a special announcement following the 3 stars of the game. And then, like, they do the 3 stars of the game. Hopefully it's all Devils and we win the game big. And then hopefully they roll out like some red carpet and they just bring the entire Hughes family out onto the thing and be like, the New Jersey Devils have now acquired Quinn Hughes for whatever the package is, and then just like have the arena go nuts. That would be wild. SST, they'll make the room, my guy. I'm not worried. Do they have the room today? No, but they will. They'll find it. Hey, Russo, what's going on? Nice midweek surprise live. It's just, so might as well talk about the upcoming homestand and see what other people are talking about. But I figured it'd be mostly Quinn Hughes centric. It seems to be dominating, not even just Devils and Canucks. It's almost like league wide. All I see, and obviously my feed is going to be a little skewed because of obviously I'm a Devils fan and look at the content all the time. And now I've been diving down the rabbit hole of anything about Quinn Hughes, but that's like all the insiders are talking about it. Other teams are talking about it. It's just, it's taken over. It's taken over the hockey news. And I think it will continue that way until the deal happens, whether that's to the Devils or somewhere else. JJ Dog, I really don't think Vancouver wants our picks. They'll be picking 25 or lower. You would hope so, J Dog, but the way this team is looking or has looked, that could be a stretch. I mean, it could be a decent pick if we miss the playoffs. Obviously, we all hope that does not happen, but I don't think there's a guarantee that it's going to be that low of a pick. But those picks still have value as well. But yeah, they're going to be looking for roster players and prospects probably as well. Samuel, does this trade really change the season enough to make this team a winner? You got to get him cheap. Don't Gulliver a damn about picks, trade pick quantity. No, I agree with that, but it's going to cost. Does it make us a winner on its own? It's tough to say because if I'm being realistic, while this team certainly has flaws, and we've talked about it over and over again, when Jack and Pesci were in the lineup, we looked pretty damn good. Yeah, we weren't winning every game decisively. Some games we looked dominant. Some games we barely squeaked out, but they were just finding different ways to win all these games. And I do think with both of those guys back, the team as is much better. Now, I do think that without those guys, the chinks in the armor were shown, and now they can no longer be ignored. They were ignored for a long time. People have been talking about 3C for eternity. It was glossed over and ignored. And because of how good Jack is and how good the team was doing to start the season off, these things were kind of covered up. It was kind of a cover-up. So now you're faced to really look at it and take it on head on because they're not here anymore, Jack and Pesci, and now you're kind of seeing it fall apart to some extent. And so, if these small tweaks are made, I'm not going to say Quinn by himself makes the team a winner, but I do think Quinn plus a legitimate 3C would go a very far way. I really do. Now, whether that's a guy like O'Reilly or some of these other names being thrown around, if we got a real 3C and Quinn Hughes, I have to believe that this team is legit and is very, very, very capable of making a run. But we'll see. Robbie's bench toss, dollar in, dollar out. Other sequential moves are possible for sure. I don't know if the Palat thing's even on the table for Fitz, but I am sure that Dougie will be moved one way or another. And he says nobody touches Dougie's contract. I'm almost positive that that's not that big of an issue, and he will be able to get that moved. whether he has to retain a little bit or maybe add some picks. When there's a will, there's a way, and I do believe that Fitz will find a way to move him if this deal is being held up by that. Fentanyl Floyd, people were ragging on Nemitz last year. This year, they don't want to include him in a trade for a top defenseman in the league. Isn't it crazy? What a difference 6 months makes, right? Yeah, people were bashing him hard, like super hard. Ship him out of here. He sucks. And like I've said with other guys, including Luke Hughes, I was like, listen, I believe in these guys long term, but they're children. They're young kids, and they're going to go through these kind of phases. It's going to, you're going to see some nights where you're like, ooh. But then there's going to be nights where you're like, we shouldn't trade this guy for Quinn Hughes. And apparently a lot of you folks are there right now. But I'm with you, Floyd. Like, it's amazing what a hat trick overtime winner, another overtime winner, a shootout winner, and a couple other clutch moments, how that could change the perception of a fan base from this guy is bad, get rid of him, talking about Nemitz, to this guy is the second coming of Bobby Orr. We can never trade him under any circumstances, including for a defenseman who is unanimously pretty much slotted as the second best defenseman in the league and a top 10 player in the whole league across all positions. It's wild. It really is wild. Alex says, I'm hurting out here, Ace. I hope for 5 points, but tampering expectations now. I'd be happy with 4, but 5 or 6 would be great. I wish I was, man. I really wish I was I wish I could be a 0.00001% owner of Fanatics. Unfortunately, I'm not. Never thought I'd see Ace wearing Lululemon before me. Neither did I. But I'll tell you what sold me was I am a quality guy. I'll pay for quality stuff, whether that's food, certain aspects of trips, tickets. There's a lot of things I'll pay for quality. And when I felt it in person, I was like, oof. I was like, I've never felt this kind of fabric before. This is very nice. But I didn't want to pay full price because it is expensive. So I was like, I'll wait and see if there's ever a discount. And typically a lot of these like fancier brands, and not that it's super fancy, but like Lululemon, it's like whatever. Typically not on sale and excluded from sales on all these websites. And Fanatics is making a big push. They must have to hit those Q4 numbers. And so when I saw the Lululemon on sale, I'm like, I'm going to buy a couple because I've been eyeing them up. And it's never going to get cheaper than I think it's at least 30-40% off. I forget. But it's pretty heavily discounted. And I was like, all right, that's a sign. It's time for me to get my first Lulu piece. And the fabric is very good. I'm not going to, feels very good. Might be quickly becoming one of my favorite shirts. Oh, my Lord, if you guys get Quinn Hughes, congratulations. He's on a different level. He is a beast. I agree with that. Mark, do you think that a big trade for Quinn will be made when the Canucks visit Newark? Do you believe Fitz is waiting for that, or is he just going to do his normal nothing? I mean, I hope it's not the normal nothing. There's a chance that that's what's happening. Man, I just talk too much, guys. I need to figure out how to. I start off, and I'm in kind of real time, but then you guys just keep pounding comments, and then I fall back. I hope it's not nothing. Hopefully the hands are not in the pockets. Hopefully he gets proactive. I've been in the lab cooking up some ideas with Steve the Maniac about some potential trades. And there's a couple ones that I think could be sneaky or not so sneaky, big moves that could improve this team. But that'll be probably coming out in the next couple days. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what's going on here, but we'll see. Oh, my Lord, it's not up to Fitz. It's up to Canucks management. What happens? Well, yeah, but, you could kind of nudge the issue. Bungie, same Ace. I wore my away jersey last night for the first time in forever, and we won. So I think that's what caused it. Well, guess what, my guy? You better be wearing that same jersey tomorrow. And once I said I was watching the game in another room, a couple other people chimed in that they were doing something a little different. Whatever you did that was different for last night's game, you best be doing that same different thing tomorrow because we won a game for the first time in a while. Richard, being a hypocrite here because I've been one of the nitwits that would prefer to wait for Quinn to be a free agent. I imagine he's a healthy scratch Sunday, 1,000-1, but it would be memorable if news hit. Oh, my God. I didn't even think of that. That would be crazy, Richard. He's a healthy scratch, and then they announce the trade in the middle of the game. Oh, man. They should fly in Michael Buffer, the guy that does all the big fights. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. And then they bring out all the Hughes brothers and do a bunch of fireworks and stuff. Man, Robert, what's going on? I'm boozing those Casamigos margaritas. Cheers. Ooh, Casamigos. I'm a Casamigos Anejo guy. Which one do you like, Robert? Timu. Red Wings seem to be putting up a lot regarding Quinn, but who knows if any of this stuff's true, guys? Like, there's a lot of propaganda and media manipulation. The games that go on between, GMs and other execs and the media, there's a bunch of ways that they could try to leak stuff out to drive up the price on these players. And so I think, who knows? I mean, some of these packages that people have been throwing out could be wildly inflated as to what's reality. Because like I've said for a very long time, I do believe that other contending teams looking to, get over the hump that think, adding a guy like Quinn Hughes could really, really be the difference. They'll pay a lot, but at some point, like there has to be a limit. And some of the packages that I've seen circulating online are just pure. It's just psychotic. Like just, multiple roster players, multiple first rounders, like prospect. I've seen some that are just ridiculous. I just can't see other teams paying that much of a price that some of these people are listing because of the fact that the hockey world seems to believe he's signing in New Jersey when he's a free agent. Yeah. Imagine Quinn comes here to leave. That would never happen. No one says I'm all for Quinn never leaving after the Canucks game. One-way flight. David says the Canucks brass travels the team. Internet will explode. I mean, it has to happen, right? I mean, they have to be there. SST says, imagine you all have to pay 50% premium on tickets when Quinn gets here in New Jersey in 2 years. I mean, listen, the team can try whatever they want, but in the end, the demand, this is a free market. The demand will speak for itself. And, I don't know that would directly mean more expensive tickets forever. I just don't know. Zupa, we don't need Quinn. We need a 3C, a sniper, and to get rid of Palat and Hamilton. That is all. I mean, that'd be a good start too. Well, what do you mean by sniper? Define who's a sniper. Like if you're talking about like a high level, big time name, I don't know that that's realistic, but I do think a nice winger and a 3C is possible. But you have to realize the team has shown their cards. They're going for Quinn. My buddy Goody says, country is whack. I saw you as more of an old school type. Lil Wayne makes sense. But the crazy thing is, as old as I am, Drake has been on top of the game for like 15 years. So I was in my mid-20s when he came out, which is crazy because, like, I guess kids or younger people still like him now, but like he didn't just show up here. He's been around forever. Has ever happened before, like an announcement like that? I don't think so. Pretty awesome if they did that, right? Like just some big over the top, man. Vancouver fans would be so pissed. They'll be probably sending those like dog shit packages you could send from people online. They'll probably send them to the arena nonstop. Maybe not as big of a celebration as you said, but maybe get him on the microphone and have him say he signed or something to that. Well, it wouldn't be that he signed. It would be that he got traded here. But I don't think they'll do it, but it would be crazy. Just now, I don't know if it's Keith's system or the Devils are just inept. Every time we dump a puck into forecheck, team just get a clean exit right up the weak side wall. We're just not good at that game, Snow. We're not great at it. I know it's annoying. Like, can we just figure out how to effectively dump and chase and get a nice little cycle going on and maintain some ozone time? It's just, we're kind of in and out. Hopefully it's something they work on and they get better at, but I think you could get some guys, a couple guys that maybe could be infectious on the other guys. It just does seem like this group is ride or die with the run and gun, which is, unfortunate when teams effectively shut it down. Jack McCabe, I'd be looking to get Garland with Quinn. I'd give up whatever. Who cares? Win now, all in. Okay. And in the D zone, can we pressure the point more? A lot of times it does seem like a very passive approach. You're like, I think that we should be a little more aggressive here. But these are all things that could be adjusted over time, I suppose, but we just need to win some freaking games. Man. when a Fitz gets his lines crossed and calls the Sabres jam and trades for Jack Quinn instead. Oh, boy. Natasha said SST should be a lifetime ban. Satire Salesman, thoughts on the Metro as it currently stands is that it's crazy. It's a completely insane situation here. And once again, everyone writing the Capitals off for dead, and there they are holding down that #1 spot. Canes, Isles. Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, I mean, the wild card, the division, it is crazy. There could be a world, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there is a world where this is so tight down the stretch that there could potentially be like only 1 or 2 people locked in a specific playoff spot with everything else up in the air, depending on like the outcomes of the games on the final day of the season. And it's crazy. I do think, let's see. Yeah, I mean, Boston, Detroit. Yeah, even Montreal and Toronto. I mean, my God, like, yeah, what division are the wild card teams going to come from? I mean, this is going to be crazy. Wild stuff. How will the East shake out? I would like to see the Penguins get in. I would like to see Sid make the playoffs again in his career. I don't think he's leaving Pittsburgh, and so, like, just get in Pittsburgh. I want to see Sid play playoff hockey. Jason says we're not getting Quinn plus a 3C. I mean, I think there is a world where that could happen. Now, whether or not the powers that be actually facilitate that, different story, but I think there is a world where that could happen. Mark, come on, Ace Fitz is already gearing up his we came in second excuses for not getting Quinn and or Ryan O'Reilly. I don't know. I just feel like the owners are not going to accept we came in second on Quinn. I think this was like a mandate. We're going to see, but man, what's it to you? If Mercer's in on the deal, it's a no for me, dog. I kind of look at the same kind of thing. Like, it would sting. But are you going to let that hold up a deal to bring in one of the best players in the league? I don't know. Winnie, heard elsewhere, Dougie to Sharks, Wenberg to Vancouver, Nemo, Mercer, 2 firsts, 2 seconds to Vancouver, Quinn and Sherwood to New Jersey. I think I'd do it. I saw someone post some wild thing on X, and I think someone put it in one of the comments on one of these videos here too about a 3-way trade with the Sharks, Canucks, and Devils. I don't know the likelihoods of any of this. I mean, all these proposals that people are throwing out are severe win now moves. I just don't know that Fitz has it in him to push all the chips in the middle, because some of these deals are fully just chips all in. First and second rounders for the next 2 years. Casey just jamming those chips in. Travin says some of the fans nowadays would have had meltdowns under Uncle Lou and his trade. Absolutely. Ritter Engine, of the next 3 games, which game you think will pose the most challenge given the current state of affairs? Probably Lightning. I'll have to go Lightning just because they have so much high-end talent. I think Lightning. And I forgot to talk about the goalie thing. Yeah, so 3 games. I'm going to guess, and again, this could be totally wrong, but I'm going to go Markey starts tomorrow. We see Jake Allen on Saturday against the Ducks, and then Markey against the Canucks. Markey, Jake, Markey. That's my guess. And hopefully Markey has a big one tomorrow. He didn't give up an even strength goal last night. For as much as people bashed him, those were power play goals. And obviously, yeah, there's still goals against, but he really did make some huge saves, in the third period and down the stretch of that game. And people just gotta, give the guy a little bit. I understand it hasn't been the greatest start, but people have been like ruthless. Natasha, Lululemon's so expensive, it's insane. I felt the hoodie in person too, and I was like, that's nice, but I sure as hell wasn't going to pay $200 for a hoodie. My dad wouldn't buy it for me. Ask for a holiday gift. Jared says the Quinn Hughes talk around the whole league is getting crazy. Supposedly everyone is trying to get him or is called about him. Flyers, Red Wings, Rangers, Knights, Flames. Yeah, this is exactly what they want in Vancouver. Get all these teams interested and drive that price up. Amagi, I'll be there tomorrow wearing my new Grits jersey. Nice. Which one did you get? Is it a home away? Is it a jersey? Natasha, Canes and getting Quinn Hughes would be a nightmare. Yeah, it really would. Yep. Drive the price up on the market. Exactly. Get everybody pulled in. Jared Barnes is also someone within the Rangers organization spreading a theory that Quinn doesn't want to play in NJ. Someone in the Rangers organization? Who is it? I'd be curious. This is a crazy one. Nemitz, Dougie, Salive, and a first. Hughes, Sherwood, first to Nashville for O'Reilly. Grit. I can't make sense of this. My brain hurts. But Ace, I didn't shower last night, so I can't shower since they won. Maybe that you could make an exception. Anything else? They should have made Hughes Bowl for the outdoor game between Canucks and Devils. They typically do it. The teams that play each other are fairly close in geographic proximity because they want the away teams to travel there too. So the first time, obviously, Devils Rangers at Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You're getting both fans there. And then when the Devils played the Flyers in Stadium Series 2 years ago, at MetLife, there was a good amount of Flyers fans there as well because it's not a crazy drive for them. So I think if there were ever to be another one for the Devils, it will be another one of these teams that's kind of somewhat in the area. Lululemon makes a lot of hoodies and shirts and things for dudes. I know. I didn't really know until they started doing the collabs. I had no idea. Beachmaster says I could see Mercer lifting the cup. Oh, man. I could see a lot of these guys lifting the cup, but they got to win a couple rounds first. Traveling Devil Hughes Brothers concession stand at the Rock. Each has a signature sandwich. That would be interesting. Richard, Keefe and Fitz address the team on Sunday. Hit everything that moves except Quinn. Nolan, I definitely want one of those vintage pullovers. I was hoping for vintage colors as well in my size, just big and tall sizes left. Yeah, I think they're like I said, I think they're making a big push for Q4 here. These are some of the biggest sales I've ever seen. And a lot of the stuff I wanted is actually sold out in my size, or it's sold out entirely as well. I don't think Grits is going anywhere, David. Hopefully Grits is here for a very long time. Devils Hawks, I was told that Fitz and Canucks haven't even spoke, so this is confusing where Friedman says that Fitz called. I have to believe that he did. Ooh, I don't think it'll happen, but that would really sting. I don't know. That might be the only thing is, yeah, he's going to get a lot of money. So you're talking about, it's not like he's on a bargain contract because he's going to get paid, but it would still suck to lose him. I would definitely tell him you're not getting. Yeah, imagine the Canucks could be crazy. They could be like, give us Gritsuk, Mercer, Nemitz, and 2 firsts or something stupid. And then obviously I wouldn't do it. Elliot Friedman pisses me off. The podcast just get to be a waste of time listening to him pondering. I like it, but they do seem very long. I typically like to listen to it when I'm in the car, especially because there's no video. So like there's certain ones that I like to watch when there's a video, but that one's just audio. So that's usually a car one for me. But a lot of times, I haven't went on a long drive in a little bit, so it's more of like doing errands and like local driving, so it's always like chopped up and a couple minute pieces. By cutting the dead weight, Snow. That's how. Cutting the dead weight. Nolan, I don't want to see Crosby play us, but I'm down for postseason Crosby. So the crazy thing is, I was talking to one of my buddies about this because of how bad the Devils have been for quite some time, for the most part. Obviously, we've had a couple glimmers of hope before we were thoroughly, had our hearts stomped on afterwards. That Sid and Ovechkin have been in the league for 20 years. And because the Devils were so bad, we've never had a playoff series against either one of them. That is almost like unfathomable territory to be in the same conference as two generational stars for 20 years and not have a single playoff series against either one of them is crazy. Crazy. This is a good point, Devils Holic. Someone did mention from the Canucks media that Quinn would probably prefer to get traded now because the Devils could extend to an 8-year contract before the 6-year limit next year. It's a valid point. 100%. The CBA, I forget when it kicks in. Is it sometime in September? At some point, the rules change to where if he doesn't sign the long-term deal before that, then he can only sign a 6-year deal. And that's, when you're making, I'd imagine his next contract is going to be, 16 to 18 million bucks maybe a year. So you're talking about 2 years of a deal like that. You're talking 30 to 40 million bucks less in terms of the total contract. So that definitely probably plays a part in it. But I think he's getting traded at, way before that anyway. Completely agree. But what if the opposite happens, Snow? What if they go on a run? What if he gets here and it's just Wagon City and we just start ripping off wins? I mean, let me dream for a minute. Devils Holic, problem is Devils need to unload some contracts, so it's making it difficult because no one wants Palat or Dougie's contract. I think someone will take Dougie. I really do. Palat, different story, but if you get creative with sweeteners and other things and put it in a package, I think you could figure out a way to get rid of it. When there's a will, there's a way. Vachi, I'm just going to say Vachi, can you put out your videos as podcasts? On what platform? They are all on Spotify. All of the videos and the lives make their way onto Spotify. Is that what you mean? I'm curious what you mean by that specifically. Jay Snow, this is why our ownership sucks. Instead of making the best hockey trade, they just want the three Hughes brothers to sell tickets. Well, I do think that they also think it'll make them a better team, but I also do agree that the, box office dynamic and marketing and all that stuff is a part of it as well. David Markey had a good game. Siegs and Dilly mistakes way bigger part of it all than 3 goals against Markey. Don't tell the people in here that, David, or anyone on the internet. They want to burn Markey at the stake. These people just bloodthirsty. Grits jersey, since I don't have a Fanatics jersey. Hope to get it signed on the 28th. Nice. Image of Nico, tears streaming down his face, lifting and kissing the cup would go so hard. It really would. It really would. I can't lie. Am I the only one who could see Nico in a Canes jersey? Maybe. I could picture him in a Panthers jersey, not a Canes. Nolan, get Talercio's from Middletown Red Bank in on that sandwich naming for the players. Oh, man. I went there a couple times in the summer and did some damage. Talercio's. Some of those sandwiches are insanely big. Gritsuk's not going anywhere. I agree with that. I just asked you about this before. Yeah, I'm not on Apple. Maybe I'll look into it. I hate tech and all of this stuff, if I'm being honest. A lot of the regulars here know. But it is on Spotify. Maybe I'll do Apple eventually. But, does anyone, compared to YouTube, does anyone even look at this other stuff? I guess you do because you asked for this. But, only a fraction of the people that watch here, the audience, relatively speaking, on Spotify is pretty small. People did bash Markey, including the Sens players. They certainly did. This is fine. I'll watch the game with family again instead of my man cave alone. My bulldog Hercules made me miss the Cotter goal last night. Hercules. All right, I'm skimming here. Cape Diller playoff format sucks. Devs used to play caps and pens all the time. Yeah, I hate the current format. Every time they do the survey, like someone did a poll. I've mentioned this before, but someone did a poll. I think it was on Twitter, and it was like, which playoff format do you like better? And it was like 95% literally the old format, 1 through 8. Bobby, thank you for the super. Had a dream we got Quinn and won 20 in a row. Wow, that's quite some dream. 20 in a row would be insane. I couldn't even fathom that. The 13 in a row in 22-23 was insane. I couldn't imagine it going to 20. That'd be something truly, truly special. Where would you peg the odds of us getting Quinn this season? This season, Quinn, I think I have to put it at like 65-35 that we get him. I just don't see how Fitz doesn't make it happen. And I don't see how the Canucks aren't trading him this season for sure. So I'm going to go 65-35 that they do get him. Apparently they're looking for 4 or 5 pieces. Mercer and Nemo are part of it. Chris says we need Stamkos for our power play. Most people in here are very anti-Stamkos. At the right price, I would take Stammer in a heartbeat. No one, holy moly, is Lululemon expensive. Nice stuff. Considering one item, I already ordered a North Face beanie. Might return it for that Devils Lululemon one. I got the thing I have on right now, and I have another one. I don't feel like, did I hang it up in the closet? It's another like thin hoodie that when I felt them in person, I was like, these are insane. It still is expensive, even on sale, but it's definitely worth it. I had to pull the trigger. I've officially joined the Lulu Club. Jason, these Stanley Cup teams are all strong down the middle. Absolutely. Center depth, and that's why it's even crazier that I think some people were talking about Nico potentially being traded in a deal for Quinn Hughes, and I was just like, you guys are nuts. Like, that's the last guy that would be included in a deal for Quinn. I could totally see Quinn coming here and ripping us through the playoffs. He's won more playoff rounds in one season individually than Nico and Brader and Jack have. Not saying much, but yeah. Yeah. People are throwing out all kinds of packages here. Devils fans, why are most fans against waiting for Quinn to become an unrestricted free agent? Because the time to win is now. The time to win is now, right now. We don't know a lot of things about this team in 2 years. Is Nico Hischier even here for the 27-28 season? I don't know. And no one can know. Who are our goalies at that point? What do they look like? Is Brader still here? Is Timo Meier healthy? Does Jack cut his finger off again? And is there a new episode of is there San Jose cut? You know, who knows? There's a lot of things, but the main infrastructure is in place to try to win now, and you got to try to do it. Yo Home says, yo, Ace, if Nico gets moved for Quinn, is Quinn El Capitan? No. If Nico got moved for Quinn, which is not going to happen for all the obvious reasons, but let's just pretend for this exercise, they would give the C clearly to Jack Hughes. I mean, that's what they would do. Let's be real. Is there even a question mark about it? No one worth every penny for those sandwiches. Unbeatable, beautiful quality in those fried raviolis and a plethora of other deep fried Italian goods. Yeah, you got to ring the bell. You got to ring the bell and get the raviolis. I did it the first time. It was amazing. And I was like, this guy's not going to remember me. The next time I went there was probably like a month later. I'm like, I'm going to ring the bell again. I didn't do it because I didn't want to be a slob, because the reality is if I rang the bell and they gave me the raviolis, I would have crushed the raviolis and the oversized sandwich that's not really meant to be eaten by a single person in a single sitting, but I do it every single time anyway because I'm dedicated to the sport. and eating the raviolis, it's a lot. But if you haven't been there, check it out. Telurcio's. They got some wild sandwiches. Dilly is having another signing at Sports Minded. Oh, yeah, I did see that. Sports Minded Unlimited, the best place in the game for New Jersey Devils autograph signings, is having Brendan Dillon again. Let me see if I could find a link. Well, I'm just going to link to their website. They posted it on social media. The tickets aren't on sale yet. I think it's, but check out Sports Mind Unlimited. Dilly's going there. They'll probably have some other guys throughout the year as well. But really cool family-owned shop. I've met a ton of people there over the years. Dilly's going back. Dilly is going back. If there's anyone who could not make it happen, it's Tom Fitzgerald. Very good at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Sometimes it feels like that. John, I still think Coleman coming back would be an underrated win. I know you feel the same way. His 20 is available. He's on my list. He's on my list for sure of potentials. Is it the best move? I don't know, but he's on the list. No, so these are just two things that got mixed together, Tasha. So the deli he's talking about has nothing to do with the Devils. It's just a really good deli in Central Jersey that makes oversized sandwiches, and they kind of go well, here, I'll put it in the here. Now you'll know what we're talking about. I don't know why I didn't do this before. I put a link to their Instagram in the chat. Totally separate. Then someone earlier was talking about a potential like Hughes themed sandwich thing in the arena. Two totally different things. We're just always talking about food here. But yeah, two different things. The other one's a place in Jersey, Central Jersey. Nolan, I saw you wear that red sweater hoodie. Nice stuff. I might join the club as well. Fanatics is pushing for Q4. I'm here to buy their discounted goods. Let me see. Is my card item still in stock? Like, guys, literally, I have so much shit. It's like absurd now, to the point where, well, this is not an issue anymore. But my ex-girlfriend thought I had like a serious problem, and I tried to. She didn't fully understand it. She understood it a little bit, but at this point, I think I could probably wear a different Devils article of clothing daily for several months on end. Yeah, that's right, Snow. Trade Nico. Cody Glass, 1C, baby. Let's go. I would rather have Makar, but Makar is not an option. Telurcio's is all over my feed recently. I need to try it. Some of the sandwiches look absolutely insane. Dude, they are. They really, really are. The first time I went there, it was an out-of-body experience. I was watching their videos for a while. It's not super close to me, but it's not super far away either. I was just like waiting till I was naturally in that, or at least somewhat in the vicinity of the area. I didn't want to just trek out there just for that. So I was waiting till I was like somewhat in the area. And when I went, it did not disappoint. They have a crazy breakfast sandwich too. They have breakfast sandwiches. I think it's the John Taylor. It was like some crazy Taylor ham one, but yeah, it's wild. They make crazy stuff. Definitely check it out. Brandon says, I cannot wait to have that Quinn blue line wrist shot. That shot is lethal. How about everything else he does too? I mean, the guy is such an animal. Richard says, I'm one of those who was wanting to wait for Quinn to be a free agent. However, looking at this team in 27, it could be entirely different. Win now. That's where I'm at. Win now. Win now. We have no idea what the future holds, but we do know that we've been talking about, wait for it. What have we been talking about for years? We've been talking about how bright the future is. And guess what, folks? I am personally well over talking about how bright the future is. The right now must be bright. Win now. Push the chips in the middle, make some win now moves, and try to get this team over the hump. Yeah, they are Ranger fans. Jason said, you want a real deli? Is Cats, no comparison. First of all, they're wildly, one is an Italian deli and one is a Jewish deli. They're totally different. The man from Jersey, I own over 50 Devils hats and thought it was a bit excessive. Then Ace comes along and makes me feel like I need to step up my apparel game. I don't think I have 50 hats. I think you got me. Probably have, I don't know how many hoodies and shirts and shit, but a lot, and jerseys. But 50 hats is a lot. I might be in the 20s or 30s. I've also tossed a bunch after they got, like, you know, hats, depending on, you know, when and how you wear them. You know, sometimes they get messed up and I'm like, chuck it. I would imagine. Jason, you're going to the Giants game on Sunday? I could never. You're a better man than I. To go watch a team that's been out of it for weeks on end, I just couldn't, especially in the cold. I could never drag myself. Now, listen, that's also because I'm a casual Giants fan. I have sat at many Devils games in seasons where they were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs like weeks before. So I guess if you're a super diehard, then it makes sense. But like I couldn't for football. Your sister's is a staple, and the different sandwiches is ridiculous. They have a coffee rubbed smoked pork. They make it into a breakfast sandwich on everything seeded semolina. Wow. Wow. Tasha said, my future boyfriend will be converted into a Devils fan. If he doesn't like my hockey obsession, he's got to go. Or you could just find a Devils fan, Tasha. There's a lot of young men at these games and all these events. Way more young people. I'm trying to think. Maybe just because I don't know. I feel like there's way more young people at hockey games now than when I was younger. I could be off base with that, but I don't think I am. Like, I do think more young people are into it, and especially young girls. I don't think like young females made up the fan base at all when I was younger. It was all like older people. And it is interesting how over the years, you know, more young people have come into the fan base. And I guess it's just sports in general. But yeah, like when I was younger, there was no young people really. What's your package you send to Vancouver for Quinn? Please let me know how Fitz doesn't come in second. I mean, my pack, you know, I've said a million times, I'm not dying to have him the way a lot of other people are. With that being said, I certainly see the value in him as a player and what he brings to any team he goes to right away. And so again, for the millionth time, I personally would rather put those assets towards a big time power forward, to help this team. But we know that that's not the agenda, obviously, guys. Like, you have to be realistic of what's going on. And it's that they do want to unite the brothers. And so I just don't see any world how he fails. Like, he must make it happen. And quite frankly, when is the next time the Devils are going to be in a position to get a player this good, period, of any position? And it's only because we have the inside track and everyone's still worried about him botching it. So I don't know. I would be gutted to lose Nemo. Obviously, I think he's going to have to go. I really don't want to lose Mercer either. I think they're going to try to get both of them. If somehow Fitz could get Quinn here for Nemo and like prospects and picks, that would be phenomenal. I don't know if that'll get it done, but it would be amazing if it could. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would much rather keep Mercer over a lot of other pieces, but would they take, I'm just spitballing out loud now because I never really did this. exercise before you asked, Holmes, but would Vancouver take, I don't know, Nemitz, Salayev, and a first and a second, or Nemitz, Salayev, 2 firsts? Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing out loud here. And these prices could be overinflated, maybe. But I do think teams, even for a pure rental, will pay a lot. I just don't know if they're going to, what exactly it's going to be. Giants have been out of it for years. Violantes and Nutley, huh? I haven't heard of that. Let me look that up. Violantes and Nutley. I always like to. Okay, on Franklin Ave. I'm going to put Sunrise. Sunrise, I'm assuming you kind of live in the area. Have you heard of Mike's Pasta Shop, Sunrise? Mike's Pasta Shop. Go Pack, go Packers, second in the NFC, go Cheeseheads. I'll tell you this. I'm a cheesehead this year because your boy ripped off 11 straight wins in my fantasy league, thanks largely in part to Jordan Love, quarterback of the Packers. Bungie, a belly buster sandwich from Zach's is a religious experience for breakfast sandwich enjoyers. Where is Zach's? I am certainly a breakfast sandwich enjoyer, Bungie. Tell me where this belly buster is and who or where is Zach? I thought Mike's Pasta Shop was in. I thought it was Nutley, but is it Belleville? They have some crazy sandwiches and pasta. It is Nutley. Mike's Pasta Shop's in Nutley. Yeah, Sunrise. Check it out. Their fresh pasta is sick. And the sandwiches are crazy. Very good spot. I got to get back there soon. I went a couple months ago. It's a pain in the ass for me to drive there, but it's definitely worth it. True. Honestly, all the teen boys I've seen at games have seen very uninterested, not in gear, just on their phones. Yeah, interesting. Kids, the technology age. This is the young people just glued to their phones, even at a Devils game. Nolan says, I'm single, Tasha. I feel her on that. I would date anything but a Rags fan. Nolan, I hope you're a child. If you're also not a child, then this is completely inappropriate. Young teenagers. What a world we live in. Jay Snow, it'll be cold, but I'll be sauced up by game time. Nice little tailgating at the Meadowlands. Yeah, reminiscent. In the shadows. In the shadows. I miss it so badly. So badly. Wish we can move back. I wish we could move back. Frank, I think there's more young fans now, too, and it seems like there's more young fans who've actually played the game, which makes me happy to no end. Yeah, I think it's just that's all a function, Frank, of the fan base just kind of growing, right? Like, I'm a first-generation hockey fan. Obviously, the Devils have only been here for 40-some-odd years, and so, they were in the shadows of all the Ranger fans and the families that are going to grow up Ranger fans forever. So it took some time, I think, for people my age or a little bit older and a little bit younger to have kids and then raise them as Devils fans. And I think that's all kind of what we're seeing now. And it takes a few generations to catch up. But I think that's all kind of happening right now as a result. Took some time. What's going on, Evan? Nolan is plotting Dougie off the table. What's the Nemo Dogs chat? I mean, Vancouver's not taking them. Vancouver is not taking them. Yo, Holmes, thanks. Yeah. Mike's Pasta. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Arthur ever talking about in the Bronx? I haven't been there in years. Harrison Street, haven't been there. I'm sure it's delicious. Nutley is notorious for amazing delis and pizzerias. Yeah. Very, very good. Bunch of Zach's and Manalapan. It's a Mexican deli, but they do pretty much everything with their belly buster is just next level. Hold on. Now I got to tab this too. Zach's. Oh, I have the one deli. Every time you guys mention these Jersey towns, I think of Sopranos. Yeah, it was all filmed around here. It was all filmed around here for sure. Dire Wolf, if Fitz got Quinn here without trading Nemo, he'd be eternally forgiven, and there would probably be riots again in Vancouver. But to get an elite 26-year-old player, Nemo sadly is going to have to go. I think so. I think so. The man from Jersey, I really only wear NJ Devils and vintage NJ Nets sports apparel. Love the old school Nets. Between the two teams, I easily have over 100 articles of clothing and growing. My wife definitely side-eyes me when I'm I know. Old school Nets stuff is the best. It sucks that we don't have a team anymore. I was never like a huge Nets fan, but I was definitely a decent Nets fan, I would say. I would watch a lot of games on TV. I would go to games. The Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson era was phenomenal. They ran into some Titan teams in the finals, unfortunately, and got stomped. And then even like the next reiteration of the team when they got Vince Carter, like this was an exciting time. Certainly an exciting time. And then they went to Brooklyn. Terrible. Sunrise, I missed the old Devils days going to South Mountain Arena to watch practices. Scoro. Oh, man. I would cut school to go watch practice. Peak life. My peak life was probably 18 for sure. It was like, or maybe I'll give it to 22. Yeah, peak life for me was probably like 14 to 22. After that, it's all over. But enjoy, kids. 14 to 22 is a great time. And being a Devils fan back then was phenomenal. Oh, man. All right. SST is officially banned. What a creep, dude. What an absolute creep. Banned. Like, dude, like, what is wrong? Like, and then to perpetually play the victim, like, dude, like, it's crazy what people do. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with people? Oh, guy pisses me off so much. Like, ridiculous. He's done, Snow. I think if he returns, I'm booting him again. And he could cry whatever he wants. I'm glad you were there, Snow, and whoever else was here. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. To tell a 15-year-old to come visit you, like, dude, enough. Like, you're banned. That's it. Banned. It's one thing to be a jerk and say stupid things about hockey, but come on. And I'm sorry about that, Tasha. Obviously, I have no control over that. But once I saw that, like, you're done. Ridiculous. You shouldn't have to deal with psychos here. We're just, here talking about hockey and food and whatever else, and this guy's ridiculous. Wow. Yeah, he's banned, Prezify. Unreal. Jay Snow was great. No phones because your parents had no idea what you where you were, what you were doing. Oh yeah. I'm so glad I grew up at the time I did. There's obviously pros and cons of everything. But to not have like an electronic leash on you like these kids do now, and also just to want to go and play outside and chill with your friends and not be doing this fake virtual shit nonstop, I'm certainly glad. I'm certainly glad that, yeah, I grew up in a time before all this stuff and just had somewhat of a normal childhood. Unfortunately, I don't think normal childhoods are really going to exist anymore with all of this tech and all that. I lost my spot here. Michael, first Devils at home hockey game tomorrow. Hope it goes better than my experience in Philly a few weeks ago. First game ever? First game ever or first game ever or just for the season? So long to our friend. So long to a friend who crossed the line so many times as a habitual line stepper. Is gone. Is gone. He's banned. Europeans are weird, especially those kind. Not all of them. Let's not paint all Europeans weird. He just happened to be a weirdo who was European. I couldn't stand Cheek or argue with him all the time. Oh, boy. Please don't bring up that name. I played that song for you, Bungie. This man annoying. Imagine your mom tracking my phone. No, I can't, because my mom is a little bit of a nut. Shout out to my mother. I love her to death, but she's a psycho. And if she was able to track us with Kitty GPS on the phones back then, she would have enjoyed that. But it was the quintessential, before these things existed, it'd be like, yeah, we'll be back before it's dark and we're going to Mike's house around the corner. And then we'd be like towns away, or like just crazy normal kid stuff. He'll find his way in. What's up, Stanislav? I've embarrassed myself to my ace. No, it's not your fault, man. You didn't know. Like a normal person, you were like, okay, you're a young person. Cool. Not that guy. Oh, not that guy. Not him. No. He just keeps it going and going. Alex, I chill off the chat and hear SST ban reminds me of the Devils giving up 3 goals in 20-some seconds. Yeah, things happen quick around here, especially with that guy. And I can't wait. I can't wait till he tries to play the victim that he was treated unfairly for telling a 15-year-old that he knew was 15 to come visit him in a foreign country. I'm the bad guy for that. I'm glad I have my witnesses. I have to remember who was here. All right, Yo Holmes was here. Snow. All right, there's a lot of regulars in here, so you guys could back me up when this inevitably comes back around, because it's going to. You're all a witness. 2003 was such a legendary year for NJ Sports. Devils and Nets in the respective finals. My biggest regret was not going to a finals game. Well, I'm going to tell you something. In 2003, I went to all of the Devils finals games, which is games 1, 2, 5, and 7. The Cup winner, game 7. I went to 4 Devils games, all 4 finals games, and I think I went to 2 of the Spurs finals games. Nets Spurs. Alex says, hey, I'm a good part European. Hold up. Jason said, my mom's an Italian nut. Forget it, bro. We've had 1,000 phone calls. Yeah, I can't imagine how bad it would have been when I was a kid, like out on my, like, you know, taking our bikes out and just doing kid stuff, just going towns away and lying about where we were. What a great time. Just good old fashioned youth mischief in the 90s. What an era. What a decade. The 90s. Clearly the best decade ever. What's going on, Husky? I bet you can see the replay of the chat from the first Kane season opening game. He was saying some crazy stuff. Like so and so had an older and he'll fly me out. What's he like? I never saw that. I wish I had, because I would have banned him back then. He was banned after that for something else. But yeah, obviously, you guys know I try to keep up with the chat, but like sometimes I literally don't see, like sometimes I just have to scroll through comments without seeing them at all. So I definitely didn't know about that. I would have banned him for sure back then. What's going on, Jersey Roots? I mean, not much. Just idiots doing idiot things. Yo, Holmes, 2003 Game 7. My brother single-handedly started the greatest Let's Go Devils chant of all time. 8 minutes into the first, all the way until the middle of the second. All right, guys, it's almost that time. I have a pounding headache for some reason. I don't know why. Gotta go to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll do the regular thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions. Sorry for anyone's inappropriate behaviors. Obviously, I try to, cleanse the group of these people as necessary, and that one was a long overdue cleanse. I mean, my God, sick creatures, absolutely sickening. Good night, Justin. Hanson, do I need a winter beverage? You might be right, Anson. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get myself a beverage to close this thing down. I mean, it's not like they take me any sort of time. I'm going to get myself a nice seltzer. That was a great idea, Anson. I'm going to get myself a nice beverage to wind this thing down. But it's not over yet. You guys don't have to leave. A lot of people leave at the bathroom break, huh? Okay, I get it. It's fine. But if check out the merch though, link in the chat. Lululemon on sale, sick hats on sale. Mitchell and Ness. Where's my other hat? I love this one. This one's fire. It's hard to see, but it's like super thick stitching. It's hard to see the dimension of it, I think. But this one's crazy. That's true. It'll be a SST is gone beverage. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Back in 2 minutes, people. Thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions. Get your Fanatics merch. Link in the chat. Pinned. Be right back. I'm gonna get myself a winter beverage. Why not, right? And we are back. Dun dun dun. Going with more surf sides. I bought a pack of these the other day. Driver's ed. Oh, I remember those days. How old do you have to be to get a license these days? Is it 18 now? I think it might be at 18. And I'll be teaching him about Gen Pop shooters. Oh, the Gen Pop shooters. Gotta have them. The old cooking spoon. Ooh. My mother hit me with a brush once, like a hairbrush. I'll never forget it. She hit me over the head with it, and it was a Revlon. It was like a Revlon brush, like those ones with like the spikes. I don't even know if they sell them. They must still sell them. I haven't seen hairbrushes in a minute, but it had a handle, and like the top part gets wider, and it had like the little spikes, like the little plasticky things. And she like whacked me with it, and it broke. And she had the handle in her hand, and I laughed in her face. It was so funny. I was probably like 15, probably after I beat my brother up or something. Dire Wolf, as a channel grows, we're probably gonna need mods at some point. Have a good night, everyone. Hope we could beat Tampa. Yeah, I have a couple. I already have when I unleash the mods. I have so many things to figure out. But yeah, we have some mods in the wings waiting. Later, Holmes. The SST permaban. Cheers. Cheers. I'm sure he's gonna send me some scathing email about he was unjustly booted. My mom started with the wooden spoons. Then when I got too big, she switched to the big metal ones. Michael and Tasha, the only good part about missing the 90s is you don't have people. I don't know what that is. Winter beverage because SST is gone. Oh my gosh. This is AOL. Age, sex, location in the AOL chat rooms. Oh my God. Now we're going way back. Yeah, no, most young people would not. ASL, age, sex, location. That was like the typical question on in AOL chat rooms. Wild. Probably not. I'd have to imagine he'll try to be stealth, but we'll know it's him. We had to learn about creeper people online in real time because no one was able to warn us ahead of time. Internet talk was brand new. It is true. Like the internet is just such a wild, wild thing. And to think about it in the early stages of it, right? Before it was like, all the safeguards and like, the guardrails were put in place. It was just this wild, it was like a new frontier and everyone was exploring it together. Very, very crazy stuff. Would have loved to be a teen in the 2000s, though. Seems like such a cool and unique time. It was. And in the 90s as well. Great decade. 90s is peak everything. Peak sports, movies, music, TV. Everything in the 90s was top tier. A world of no phones and social media. Yeah, was a better time. I was in college for Xbox 360. Wow, Halo. You've got mail. Man, AOL, what a time. Once in a while, I still come across someone who has an AOL email address, or at least in the past couple of years. I wonder if I think they actually announced they were getting rid of it. I could have sworn in the past year. The free demo discs. Anson, I'm from West Virginia. I had to go get a Switch stick to get beat with. Oof. I've heard about this. In North Jersey, in the Italian household, it was normally a spoon of some kind, as Snow pointed out. 17 is a probationary license, and 18 you get the basic. Okay. Yeah, it seems like they're making it harder, which maybe it's not the worst thing. It sucks if you're a kid that's being subject to it, but I see some of these kids now on the road, and I'm like, oh my God, they need to yank your license. I think that's it, folks. Let me go get some things done. Shout out to everybody for coming out. Sorry about the incident. We had a unfortunate habitual line stepper that needed to be cleansed. But big homestand. Big homestand. I would love to witness a victory tomorrow night, as many of you would. We need points. The standings are crazy. Tampa wants to hold on to that number one spot. So they'll be coming with their A game or whatever, as closest to that they could bring without Vasilevsky. But that's it, guys. Working on a ton of stuff. Some cool stuff coming up soon. Check out the Fanatics sale. I just dropped the link in the chat again. It's pinned at the top. Some crazy good deals. If you comb through there, there's some things that are like, I saw some items that were like 70% off. Not a ton of them, but a lot of them are half off or more. Jerseys, hats, all the stuff. Hey, Bruce. I got stuff to do, guys. I have like glitter on my face because I was touching the Christmas ornaments, and like now there's gonna be glitter. There's glitter all over the house. Actually, I got to clean that up. Some people might mistake that for something else. I'm gonna be like, no, I was doing the Christmas tree and the ornaments, and they're gonna be like, sure, buddy, you have glitter all over yourself. What do we got here? Yeah, exactly, Jersey. Man, I swear it's from the ornaments, man. It's from the Christmas ornaments. Bungie, thanks for chilling with us. It's always good talking hockey and breakfast sandwiches. Love the breakfast sandwiches. We got this. I feel good about this week. Let's just go 2-1. 2-1, 4 points out of 6. I'm happy with that. 5 or 6 points would be better, but I'm not going to be that greedy right now. The man from Jersey in Kids first returned to NJ after being traded to Dallas. The Nets laid a smackdown on the Mavs. I was in attendance and started a thank you Cuban chant. It was awesome. That's it, folks. Back tomorrow. Hopefully we are drinking victory drinks once again. I don't like loser beverages. I want victory drinks tomorrow. We need 2 points. And that's it. That's it. Back soon. Big week this week for the boys. Fingers crossed. We need points. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.